gives you advice, yeah, on how to live your life, how to live your life. Don't you know that life is full of surprises? You better realize, better realize. Nobody knows what's in your soul and how your heart works. Nobody knows, nobody cares. It's time for you to live your life, yeah. You can do it right now. Oh, you can do it right now. You can do it right now, yeah. You can do it right now. You can do it right now. Now.
So I've been doing some more thinking, and in the last video where we were here, I was talking a little bit about how I'm trying to bring these three different parts of myself together. And in a previous video, I was telling you about what I really want to focus on. And I think I just sort of got some clarity this morning. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update about that. One of my personal goals is what I said, I need to figure out how to do some serious letting go. And actually, as I was talking to Jeremy about how he was working with his needing to save his own life, what occurred to me while I was listening to him was that's what I did too. It's really the masculine part of me that had to step in and save my own life. And this last 12 years, I've been in survival mode, trying to not only just save my life, but to save your life and to survive. And it's been a pretty masculine push that's been within me. But I also have this thing that's happened in the last 10 years, this kind of magical process of being out of the system. And I'm much more connected to the feminine part of me, the spiritual, the emotional. And I don't really do a very good job, I think, of integrating those two. It's sort of that push-pull that's going on with me. And so what am I going to do next? And at a personal level, what I really want to do next is find a way to integrate these parts of me, not just out here alone in my own little tiny monastery or desert sanctuary. How can I do it publicly? And so you've seen me sort of look for different ways to express myself through rhyme, through poetry. But the two things that I get the most feedback from you guys are about is you make me think, which is that left side, right? And then I like the photography, which is that right side. And so I've sort of stopped doing a lot of that photography stuff just because of the limits of my location. But I've started to experiment with that a little bit more, and I really enjoyed doing the video with Jeremy this last week. It was a reminder, and so I thought it was a good example of what we can do if I travel in terms of what we can make videos about. And I say we because the other thing I've really had to come to terms with is I can't do this by myself. And I don't think I've ever specifically come out and asked for support. I've tried to have value by offering products, the membership, the books, and those at times have really helped me to get by. But the reality is right now I'm at a humongous crossroad, and so I am going to focus on this next year, because it wasn't going to happen like that, like I had hoped, of how I'm going to integrate this private, personal, feminine, masculine, creative process within me, how I want to document that over the next year. And if it's something that people like, then I'm going to hope that you will find a way to support that if you think about what you might be willing to invest with me for the next year. And so I've got Patreon set up. I have a donor box on both my websites, jillelizabeth.net and 18crossroad.net. If you want to do just a one-time donation or a monthly donation, And in terms of what I'm going to give back, I'm still trying to think about that. So I can't promise you there's going to be all kinds of private gifts or videos or audio or things like that, because right now I'm pretty tapped out physically in terms of what I can do, in terms of not producing a whole lot more. But like I said, I don't think I've ever really come out and said that. And so I'm in a position right now where if I sell everything, I can move, but I can't travel. And so if you guys like what I'm going to be creating, then I'm going to hope that you'll find a way to support it. Not if it causes any kind of strain for you, but if you like it, then I'm coming out and asking for support of it. But if you don't, I'm really okay with that too, because this process that I'm talking about is just what's going on with me. It isn't something that I need people to watch. So I figure if it's helpful, the support will be there. If it doesn't connect, it won't be. But I'm going to play a little clip because when I heard this phrase, I knew this phrase "walk in beauty" for a very long time, and this is the first time I've heard it explained what it means. And it's a Native American poem, and there's so many versions of it. I didn't pull a version up, but basically it's how we move through our day in beauty. And he explains what that phrase "walk in beauty" actually means. And
walking in beauty involves encountering fears spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, and getting beyond them so that we can have joy and happiness and confidence and peace in the 4 areas of our being. And that's what it means to walk in beauty, when you can acquire those various forms of peace in your entire being. That's what we are told.
I don't know about you, but I think this next year is going to be the wild ride to end all wild rides. And so when we come to this time next year in 2020, I have no idea what's going to be happening, but I'm calling this kind of my last shot vlog because I feel like it's just a last shot. It's kind of a last shot for me to see if I have something that people are interested in. It's kind of a last shot. Are we going to even have internet? It's a last shot of knowing if we're going to even be able to speak freely about our ideas and things like that. So I think this next year is a lot of last shots. So I liked the idea of this last shot, and I love that phrase "walk in beauty." And so to me, this is really going to be about how to walk in beauty on survival road, because I think the future of our survival is going to be probably defined this last year. And I don't need to bring you more practical survival advice, but when you hear him talk, and I'll have the full video linked below, but the purpose of walking in beauty is to move forward and not in fear, so that you can find that peace and joy and happiness inside. And you know, there's a great story about a monk that's being chased by a tiger, and he's running and he goes over the cliff and he falls, but he grabs onto a root, and as he's hanging there and he can see the tiger looking up ready to eat him, there's a perfect strawberry, and so he knows he's going to die because there's nothing he can do. So do you see the beauty in the strawberry? Do you feel the beauty in the taste and the sweetness? Do you take that time, even when you're hanging off the edge of a cliff, to appreciate the perfection and the beauty about what this world and this life can offer? I think that's a really good thing to explore. And we have so much fear in the world right now, but I think the real gift of the feminine, and this is really what I need to explore for myself in a more public way. I feel comfortable privately, but I haven't been able to do it publicly, is as the feminine, can we bring more beauty into the world? Because I think that's our gift, how we move, the tone of our voice, how we create around us, that's our gift into the world, or one of our many gifts into the world. And I think the masculine has to decide if it wants to protect that beauty. And so I know within myself, I had to protect myself to save my own life, and I did a good job. And that's a lot of what I'm trying to share with you at a practical level. But, you know, I've done a full job of creating that over at 18 Crossroads. So when people really want to do the work, that to me is that masculine energy. You will find that over at 18 Crossroad. But if you want to do the work or the part of it with me here, where I'm looking, how can I inspire what I'm calling falling in love with being human? To me, is how can we find the beauty in being human, even if we're hanging off that cliff and all we have left is one perfect strawberry. Is it worth it? And I think it's worth it to be that focused, that have that much ability to focus and to appreciate and to have joy, even if everything else is going crazy. So I'm going to try to figure out how much beauty I can bring into this world with you while we still walk on survival road, because I don't think things are just going to magically become comfortable, but I do believe that we're in this moment of time where we get to make a choice. And so I don't know how much longer we'll have the internet. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to afford to even do these things with you, but my goal for right now is to walk in beauty with you on survival road. If you find that something of value to you, I hope that you will choose to support it and travel this journey with me. If not, the future only knows. So we're just going to take this one step at a time. This is just one more tiny little hello moment. We're going to take a deep breath, and you'll find all the links below if you do choose to step in with me and walk side by side and see what we can create in this medium while we still have it. So we're going to take a deep breath. I'm going to say thank you and how much I appreciate all of you who have stuck with me this far. And there's a few of you I'm still coming up with ideas about how to say thank you in a bigger way, because a couple of you guys have been awesome. I call you my hardcore road crew because you've really stepped up in humongous ways. So you know who you are. I'm going to say super duper thank you, and we're going to take a deep breath, and I hopefully will see you next time.
Nobody knows.